Hey everybody, this is Schmo's No Intern RB3, and you are watching the Cinescape Podcast. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Cinescape Podcast, where we're changing the landscape of movie and TV news and reviews. We are back on a Saturday night here in gorgeous Westville, New Jersey. We've had some unseasonably warm weather. I am joined, as always, by the rowdy one, Rowdy Taji.
Woo!
How's it going, Billy Boy?
I'm doing well.
I am Sean Harrigan, as always, and joining us, like usual, is production extraordinaire Mike Franklino. What's up, Michael?
I like pizza.
Yeah, we got some pizza in the studio here
How's
tonight.
your pizza?
Oh, it was delicious. I scarfed it down.
You know
I
what
don't think
else I have
tasted it.
over there?
What's that?
I have garlic knots.
What?
Ooh.
What?
I thought I saw a bag.
It's
Didn't
a
know what was in it.
doughy delight that is tied
Ugh.
into a knot.
If you don't like garlic nuts, I don't want you in my life.
Yeah, seriously.
So how's that diet going, Mike?
I know. I was totally thinking that. Here's the thing. As we go through our daily lives, and as an adult in this world, you don't realize how many ups and downs you have financially.
Yeah.
But living healthy doesn't go with a poor
No,
ass
not
lifestyle.
at all.
So when you're like going from a 1 week of like going with only $3.59
Yeah.
in your bank account, you kind of go, you know what, ramen noodles for every day of the week. So
and you know what? Do you have a Whole Foods by you at all?
no,
So
just
have you-
Walmart.
Have you
No,
have you been to a Whole Foods?
Never.
It's pretty exquisite, right? So I have one by my work, and I just recently started going there to get lunch because they have a really good hot bar setup. So they have brick oven pizza, you can get sushi, burgers, like sandwiches and wraps and salad bar. So it's really great from that perspective. However, the actual grocery shopping aspect is a little intimidating because it's all healthy, natural, organic, not name brand type stuff. And so my fiance Sam 2 weeks ago was like, oh, I'm gonna do our grocery shopping at Whole Foods this week, and I'm like, okay, yeah, just you know me,
Spend my whole paycheck.
get whatever. So she had this great idea, like, oh, it's gonna be super healthy, it'll get us back on track. She spent about $150
On 3 items.
I shit you not. Like, I opened the fridge, I'm like, where's the
the
150? It's like chicken, salmon, and it's like a big bag of kale, and like,
Oh yeah,
I'm like, what? Where's all the food?
yeah.
And it's
So
like,
that's the trick. You just don't eat.
That's the
Yeah.
trick to eating healthy.
There-
Is
there's-
you go there and you spend $150-$200 and you walk home with 3 bags.
yeah, it's like, oh, here's a quinoa. And I'm like, oh, great.
Quinoa.
Yeah, what does
You
it
got
go?
like flaxseed
Yeah,
and stuff like that. You're like,
flaxseed.
what is that? You don't even. Are we
Oh my
planning
God.
something?
Doesn't look appetizing.
No.
That's why they don't serve salads at a movie theater.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody would
salad.
eat it. Just a salad.
Well, this has
Um,
been the first incarnation of Cinescape Food Talk here tonight.
Yeah.
Glad we can get that going.
Absolutely. Food is part of the entertainment.
on the
I mean,
next episode, you should discuss different foods you could get while watching your movie.
Yeah, we'll do some reviews of some of our favorite foods that we watch during movies.
They should come
That's
out with
good.
a buffet at a movie theater. Just
Oh
everybody
my
getting
God.
up and down throughout the movie.
Look, if you can have buffets at strip clubs, you can have them at movie theaters.
Have you ever eaten a buffet at a strip club?
Yes.
Yeah, Canada.
I have.
Canada.
A morning buffet, so it was breakfast.
Cakes and eggs, baby.
Actually, two buffets for me. So yeah, when we went to Canada, many moons
We
ago.
have a Canadian caller calling in soon too.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, we went to a strip club called the Bearfax.
Fairfax, baby.
Not bear like
Uh-huh.
a bear like the like Bear Essentials, the Bearfax.
Whatever
and
that means.
I remember we walked in. It was in the afternoon, and
Yeah.
you
it was
they-
around like noon.
Yeah, it was
right
around noon time, and they gave us a little, ticket, like a little like raffle style ticket, and they simply said, "Oh, this is for the complimentary food that we have,"
Yeah, there's like a carving station upstairs.
Yeah, and so you walk upstairs, and there is no lie, there is a gentleman in a chef coat with the, tall chef hat, standing there with, this large chef knife, this carving knife and fork, and he's got, not like a piece of like, lunch meat that he's just carving. He's got a full-on roast that he is carving underneath the, so eloquent, neon and black lighting that is, shining down on this beautiful rump of roast.
So
and
much good rump.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of rump there.
So I mean, there was there was that experience, and then I had an experience at Club Risque in Bristol the one time. Ended up going there after a Phillies game. And there was a UFC fight going on, and they had like chicken fingers and fries, and it was actually a decent spread. It didn't compare to the Bearfax in Canada, but for Bristol standards, the food was better than the teethless women that were.
You walk in during a UFC fight, you're gonna get really good food.
Yeah,
great fight. So who needs the women there? Just get out.
Yeah.
Right,
moving on.
Cinescape strip club talk. So that's our second segment of the night.
That's a Cinescape.
Yeah,
preview.
Cinescape. It's coming
Should have
back.
the best strip clubs in movies.
Ooh,
one time.
Ooh,
That's a
that's
good one
idea.
too. Mike's got a lot of good ideas tonight.
I'm gonna rate
He's
these.
on the ball.
I'm gonna rate these down with my non-existent.
My
pen.
favorite one was the wrestler
Yeah.
with what's her name?
The wrestler. I never saw
The
that. That's,
wrestler.
with Mickey
Marissa
Rourke, right?
Tomei.
Oh, dude.
yeah.
Tomei, man.
When she was in there as a stripper.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei.
Oh. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I feel like we don't have much to talk about tonight, Bill.
We don't?
At least I don't.
I feel like we have a lot to talk
Do we?
about. I mean, look at we're talking. We just talked about Cinescape's cover of best strippers and stripping buffets and stuff. We got stories, man. We got stories out the yin yang, man.
Well,
You're just sitting there thinking you have nothing to talk about.
See, you weren't following me there. We actually do have a lot to talk about.
I know
You're
we do.
supposed to like coax me back up.
Oh.
You're like, no, we have something really important that we need to talk
Oh,
about.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you fucking blew that one, Bill.
Well, hey, let me just stop. Let me stop you right there because Sean, you know what? We have a boatload of stuff to talk
we?
about. We have a trash boat.
Durka.
Oh, no. We have a lot to talk about tonight.
All right, well, what are we talking about?
There's a lot going on. You know what I mean? I don't want to. Should we get right into that, or no? We got to do a little bit of the buzz.
No, we're gonna get right into it because we have somebody calling soon
Oh, what time's he calling
in about
10
11 minutes.
11 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did you include that in?
No. Well, I put it at the bottom there.
At the bottom.
Special segment.
Yeah.
We're gonna flip.
Oh.
We're flipping the script before we flip the script here.
Oh.
It's a double flip.
Where am I?
It's at the very bottom. Special segments there. This is behind the scenes stuff action here, guys.
Cinescape taking you behind the
You
curtain.
just have the title in here. You don't.
No, not on yours.
Where was your long?
Well, I didn't put anything on it. I just we'll roll with it.
All
Roll.
right.
So,
Roll.
We're gonna roll with it. All right. Can I get a roll with it sound effect then? You got something for me?
Yeah.
Oh! So, Cinescape fans and followers and subscribers, you might be aware after this week and after hearing all the news and seeing all the updates on our social media pages that Cinescape's own Sean Harrigan, host, editor, philanthropist, and mutant, had an experience of a lifetime.
I did.
Last week. It was last Saturday. Okay, yes, move that mic so my face is in full view for the followers out there in the United States and all over the
It's actually
world.
so I could see Sean's beautiful face.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Billy.
You son of a bitch. But Sean, you were chosen for an awesome experience that took you up to New York City
Indeed.
for the Logan special screening. So this, just to let our viewership be aware, in case they weren't, you were chosen by Screen Rant, which is another entertainment blogging website, and they were sponsoring a screening of the Logan movie, and also had a press junket with Hugh Jackman the following day. And being that we are in the entertainment podcasting field ourselves and specialize in this type of coverage, you were selected to go up to New York and go view the movie and have a little special time alone with Hugh Jackman and ask him a few questions. So, bring us up to speed. I know there was a lot of pictures thrown on the page. There was a lot of updates going on. We had a lot of people engaging with you as you were going through that. So take us up to the point where, you're getting on the train and you're heading up there. What's going in your mind at that point when you're on the train right up there?
Man, I'm so excited to, not only have been given the opportunity in the first place, but, just to get there.
Right.
So, I'm waiting for the train. I get on. I get off at Penn Station. I'm trying to get a cab, which is a pain in the ass. Took me like 45 minutes to, get one down and then actually get downtown to the hotel. So, as I get there, I check in.
Where'd you check in at? What hotel was
the
that?
Nomo Soho Hotel.
Okay. It looked
in,
pretty
Manhattan.
trendy, kind of IKEA-ish.
Very nice place. I got a quick burger from room service. After that, I scarfed it down real quick, headed downstairs to meet Rob Keyes from Screen Rant, who was going to be calling in just a few minutes.
He is our special guest.
And we went over to the theater across the street at the Crosby Street Theater.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hotel. They also have a small theater downstairs.
Oh, interesting.
So we get there. We're mingling. There's a bar outside in there. So lots of different.
Did you drink beer?
No, I didn't have a single beer. After the movie was over, they did have champagne flutes out, so I had two glasses of champagne. But the movie was really cool. I got to see and meet a lot of different members of the press, in this field. Gray Drake from Rotten Tomatoes, Steve Weintraub from Collider, Elliot Dewberry and Ricky Hayberg from the ETC show, Dan Casey from Nerdist. So many different people. Different shows that I watch on YouTube or sites that I follow. So it was really cool meeting all those people. Scott Mantz from Access Hollywood. I talked to him a couple different times. He actually gave me his business card, and he's going to be calling us in a few weeks.
Nice.
So definitely made some cool contacts.
That's awesome.
Sunday was the day I got to meet and interview Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman.
So let's start with the interview part. So, for our listeners out there, there was being that I couldn't join you for the adventure, to have my presence be felt there. I gave you a special request.
You did
to ask Hugh if it was possible, and sure enough, you led in with this question, and I really thought when I gave it to you that this would be a one of a kind standout question. Nobody else would probably be asking this. It's a question that a lot of Hugh Jackman fans have been burning for, and it's been on our mind. When will it happen? Will we ever see it come to fruition? Sean, give us that question that I proposed to you to have Hugh Jackman answer for us.
Well, I'm going to do you one better, Bill. I'm not only going to tell you what question it was, I'm actually going to play the audio from the interview itself First time here,
No, you don't.
live, Toxic Radio, the Cinescape podcast. You are going to hear my exclusive interview with Hugh Jackman. Are
Play
you
it.
ready for this, guys?
Let's play it.
Let me see. I think I have the aux card plugged in. Hopefully the volume's good. Let me see. All right, Hugh. Everybody wants to know, this is the biggest question you're going to get all day.
Yeah.
Kate and Leopold 2, when is it happening?
That's the one my wife wants me to do. Yeah, totally.
But no, seriously. So,
Same director.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. But Logan marks the 9th time in 17 years that you are portraying Logan and Wolverine. You know, when you first signed on with Fox,
lot of chicken breast, bro.
did you think that you'd be, here at this point, 17 years later, still playing this character?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Literally no idea. I was so naive, mate, that when my agent rang me, they were doing the deal for the. And by the way, you have to do the deal before you audition.
Right.
Because they don't want actors to kind of get the part and then think, oh, now I'm going to negotiate. So you do the deal first. And he rang me and said, oh, mate, good news. I've negotiated you down from a 3-picture deal to a 2-picture deal. And I said, you did what? I said, they were going to offer me 3 jobs? That's 3 jobs, dude. Why are you getting? And he goes, you'll work it out.
Yeah.
So I was very naive. I had no idea. And comic book movies back then were really non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, X-Men and Blade really ushered in the era that we're in here now.
Exactly.
So very good.
Yeah.
What would you say has been the biggest highlight of your time as Wolverine? What was the best part of it,
Doing this movie.
doing this movie?
This feels the most personal for me. I feel like I don't think I could have made this movie 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know. I think it's part of my evolution, I suppose, of growing up and understanding the character, feeling confidence in who I am and where I am in this business to actually, I had such a clear vision. I actually did a memo at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was out with Neil Blomkamp having a dinner, and we were having a few drinks, and he said to me, man, if you could do anything you wanted as Logan, what would it be? And I was, and at 4 in the morning, I woke up and I went, I'm going to record that. I just found out that I recorded that memo on March 2nd, 2015.
Wow.
Which will be the day this comes out, 2 years later.
How about that?
Yeah. So, and it really is very close to that. So it feels very personal. This is the highlight for me.
Absolutely, yeah. So in a perfect world, film rights, aside, if you were offered the chance to be in an Avengers movie, would you be, on for that? Would you be excited for it?
If that was on the table when I made my decision, it certainly would have made me pause. That's for sure. Because I always loved the idea of him with in that dynamic with the Hulk, obviously, with Iron Man, But there's a lot of smarter people with, MBAs and who can't figure that thing out. So you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. What other characters or story arcs from comics that haven't gotten a chance to get into the movies, would you have liked to have seen or seen come through?
I don't know. This was the one that I really thought. I mean, when I spoke with the guys who created Old Man Logan, I think a lot of people think, oh, this is Old Man Logan. And I'm like, no. The inspiration for that was Unforgiven. That's what we have in common. But there's no hog babies in this one.
No, definitely not.
So, yeah, no. At the moment, honestly, if I really did have them there, I probably wouldn't have said this is the last.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just feels this is the right time.
Last one. Is this your last time as Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure?
This is it.
All right.
That is awesome.
So yeah,
awesome.
I got just about 4 minutes there with Hugh.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm chewing a garlic nut right
now. Oh, it's so good.
But as you guys could hear, the interview just was so awesome.
Yeah.
He was such a nice, charming guy. He was very happy to answer all the questions that I had for him. He was he seemed like he was excited to be there too.
He seems just the way that you both interacted. I mean, he comes off very genuine, very personable, very approachable, and what more could you ask for from from the Hollywood elite?
Yeah.
No, that's great, and you gotta love the Kate and Leopold clip. I mean, he didn't see that one coming.
No,
and who knows? Maybe it is the next movie that's gonna happen. I mean,
Kate and Leopold too.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. what if it tied into the X-Men universe somehow? I mean, there's a lot of time traveling going on. Leopold had to travel back in time, at the stroke of midnight, and he had to jump off the bridge in New York, and I mean, it could tie into another universe. I mean, Liev Schreiber was in that movie. I mean, hey, who knows?
James Mangold directed.
Exactly. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen in this, this mojo verse of a.
Yeah.
I gotta say, congratulations, dude. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And being able to sit, I saw the pictures of you with him in a room.
Yeah.
I probably would have pooped myself. I would have.
It was
been so
intimidating
nervous.
at first. Like we were sitting from the room where the bar is downstairs. Rob and I had taken an elevator up to the 9th floor where his interview room was, and also Patrick Stewart's, James Mangold's, and Boyd Holbrook's. They're, all the interview rooms were up there. So as I get out of the elevator, when we get up there, there's a small crowd of people all huddled around, and then I hear Patrick Stewart's voice before I saw him. And he turns around. Yeah. We made eye contact. He looked right at me. I was starting to reach into my pocket.
Just beaming.
I was trying to grab my phone, and as soon as I started reaching for it, he got in the elevator. So I missed out my chance to at least snap a picture of him.
Yeah. But you were there.
I mean,
that's awesome.
I made eye contact with Sir Patrick Stewart. It was something, so incredible.
It was as if you were Commander Data, and he was Captain Picard, and you're on the bridge, and he. Make it so. No, I mean that's that's an awesome time, and I think one funny story to just piggyback that real quick before we introduce our
have
guest.
Our caller on the line.
I find it hilarious that you would not trim your beard for your fiance, but you trimmed it for Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
you got him.
It's
like.
So.
I mean, it's kind of, you get like a little man crush.
Right.
He's freaking Wolverine, for God's sakes.
Look good.
Yeah, I understand. I get it.
I might put on deodorant just to be around the guy.
I'll shower once or twice.
I shaved my balls.
You say that during the interview, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, well, on the line, we do have my new friend, Rob Keys from Screen Rant. He was the runner of this contest. He helped me out. He helped me with my travel arrangements, got me to meet some of these cool people, and showed me around a bit. Rob, how's it going tonight, bud?
Rob.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Rob. Welcome to the show. How are you, pal?
I'm awesome. I should let you guys know up front, I also shaved my balls for Hugh Jackman.
Oh, nice.
I hope he knows that.
We'll have to send him some fan mail.
Well, now that we just got intimate and personal, I feel like we already know you, Rob.
I mean, I got a bro hug before I left New York, but I mean, this takes it a step further.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You gotta do what you gotta do.
So before we get into more of last weekend, just let everybody watching and listening at home just who you are and what you do over at Screen Rant.
Sure, yeah. For you movie fans out there, I've been sort of running ScreenRant.com or helping run it for 9 or 10 years now. I'm the longest serving person there, but the site started as like a tiny little blog back in the early 2000s.
Right.
And when I joined, it was like I worked for free, essentially. Then it was like $5 an article. And Sean, I told you the whole story, but basically I dedicated my whole life, my whole personal life to this passion from the moment I finished school. And myself and a bunch of hardworking, cool people who still work for us grew it to the point where it was like the largest independent movie site in North America. And then we got sold to a company in my homeland up in Canada. And now I work for them as like the editorial director for their entertainment properties. So that includes Screen Rant and more recently Comic Book Resources, which is another fantastic site if you like comics and movies and the cool stuff we all love.
Yeah, we definitely share a lot of articles from both of those sites onto our social media pages as well, and use you guys as sources because you are a trusted source in our eyes. So we love to get our news from you guys. So Bill and I were actually just talking some Canada stories from the times that we were up there. Have you ever been to Bearfax in Toronto, the strip club?
I have not.
No. Well, you don't live too far, so you should take a trip over sometime.
I can't go back there though, because I owe about $140 to a French Canadian stripper who didn't really speak much English, and Yeah, so I'm unfortunately probably not
You-
allowed
did you,
back there.
Did you dine and dash at a strip club?
Well, no.
No,
well,
he lap danced and dashed.
yeah, I mean the thing is that she took me up for a dance that was $20, and then it lasted like 13 minutes, and then she was like, it's 100,
That's how they
20,
get you.
yeah. Well, the music just kept playing. I mean, like, like, geez.
That's beautiful.
yeah.
So getting back to this past weekend, away
Right.
from the stripper talk. So Rob, we just played the audio from my interview with Hugh Jackman. You got to interview Sir Patrick Stewart, Boyd Holbrook, and director James Mangold. Tell everybody a little bit about how those went and what it meant to you, not only as somebody in your profession, but just as a fan of their work, from just being a fan of the films as well.
Yeah, that's really it. I do try to separate myself between being a quote-unquote journalist, which I don't think me or my team are. We're more analysts than anything else. But, I mean, the X-Men animated series defined, I think, who I am as a kid. I grew up with that. So, like, I think me growing up with all these things which are super popular now, from superhero movies to Star Wars, is kind of like it's why we're so successful, because we grew up passionate about this stuff, and now it's what we write about, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And so I was very fortunate. And Sean, I told you the story, but I was very lucky in that as part of what we do, we get to visit the sets of some of these amazing films. And 3-4 years ago, I visited the Australian set of The Wolverine, which was also directed by James Mangold. So I was very fortunate in that I had already met James Mangold and Hugh Jackman, and I also interviewed Mangold another time when he was showing us some footage when he was in post-production on the Wolverine. So I have like a very good banter with him, and he's super passionate, knowledgeable. And if you watch that interview when it goes live on ScreenRant.com this week, like you're very lucky in 4 or 5 minutes if you get 2 questions in, because he will just take your question and run with it forever. And I wish he's one of those guys you could talk for hours to, because he just has so much film knowledge and ideas for what. Like I kind of wish they would. It's a shame this is the last Hugh Jackman film, because I want to see James Mangold and Hugh Jackman make like 12 more, And after seeing this movie, it's easy to say that too. But so the real special one for me was meeting Sir Patrick Stewart. He was my first interview of the day. Another thing I grew up with was Star Trek: The Next Generation. My whole family loves like Trek, and my mom just absolutely loves Patrick Stewart. So Sean, if you couldn't go, man, my mom was going to take your spot.
Sorry, Mrs. Keys.
Yeah. I'll make her listen to this and she'll yell at you. But so he was just great because Charles Xavier's a very cool character. He's played him for as long as Hugh Jackman's played Wolverine, and he had some very, very cool stuff. And what's interesting is that when you interviewed Hugh, I felt like he kept intentionally trying to remind you that this is the last time he's playing the character that he's done. Whereas Mr. Patrick Stewart, who's significantly older but just as wise and handsome, was saying, you know what, I would love to do more movies with Ian McKellen. I still want to play more X-Men films. Please, Fox, make more X-Men films with,
you
with
guys
the older
had posted
Charles.
that article that he came out with the other day saying, he doesn't want to be done with it. He wants to keep going with them. So, I mean, who knows what's going to go on from here. But I'd be all aboard seeing, Patrick Stewart continue as Professor X.
Patrick Stewart, I mean, if you follow him and Sir Ian on Twitter, the two of them have this very eclectic bromance that takes place where they're always up to some type of, scheming activities and stuff like that. And, so I think that definitely transcends onto the set where they have that chemistry. And I think, you would like to see them kind of really play off each other and, do something that has a little more brevity to it. Whereas, as we're winding down here on the Fox movies with them, it's a little taken back. It's a little less involved, and the fact that he wants to continue doing something like this, I mean, the guy's still working. Let him work.
He's very spry.
Sure.
Yeah. And Rob, I gotta say too, I'm a big Star Trek fan as well. I know Sean's probably thinking right now, like, oh, great, Bill just said Star Trek.
He gets it every time with our
because
guests.
the last 6 guests got derailed because of Bill bringing up Star Trek and, went off topic. So, I'd like to pick your brain about the Star Trek new series film. But I do want to, continue with Logan. Maybe we can circle back in a moment here.
Sure.
But Rob, what was your thoughts on the movie? I read Sean's spoiler review, so you don't have to hide anything from me.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to talk.
No,
Spoilers.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
any of the stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I just wanted
but
to
my
let him know.
review is
Yeah.
posted to our social media pages and on our website as well. You know, the embargo did lift for that. What was
Right.
it, yesterday at 4:30? Rob, am I correct?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
We're actually able to trade with Cuba again too as part of that deal as well.
So yeah, if you do want spoilers, if you want to know what happens, you can go over and check out that article. I did a full write-up on that. But getting back to what you were going to ask, Bill, go ahead.
So Rob, you got to screen this movie as well. I got some insight, after reading what Sean had to write. Where do you feel like the franchise, where do you feel like it's going right now? I mean, Hugh obviously reiterated many times, as you clued in, that he's really trying to let you know this was the last go. But do you really feel that that's the case, and do you feel like that the X-Men franchise is done in this avenue of Wolverine and Charles Xavier as well?
Oh man, that's literally $1 billion question.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: like Patrick Stewart told me in our interview, you never say never. And if
Right.
this movie banks $500 million, which it easily can, that's not Deadpool money, but it's fantastic money for an R-rated action movie and an R-rated Wolverine movie.
Right.
With the reviews it's getting, it's sitting at 96% of Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I saw that today.
And the fans love him. They finally told the story. Like, how can you? If Ryan Reynolds, who's producing Deadpool 2, comes up to you and say, "Yo, Deadpool 2 sets up X-Force. This is who's going to be in the cast. We want you in it." Is Hugh Jackman going to be like, "No, I'm going to work on something else instead"? It's like, come on, Hugh, really? How can you not do an X-Force movie as a supporting character as Wolverine? That being said, who knows if they even want Wolverine in the X-Force? But I don't know. I think if it's just the reception is so positive, I think I would not be surprised if he doesn't star in any more movies. I wouldn't be surprised to see him cameo in a few.
Yeah.
Given that we're seeing so many different timelines, you'd almost have to see him cameo as part of the tradition, I guess.
Right.
As for the future, I don't think Fox knows, man. Like the Gambit movie, which I was very curious about, has been through 4 different directors already. It still doesn't have a green light. And then on the X-Men front, they're trying to do a couple of different things because, as you know, X-Men Apocalypse was not exactly a home run for the studio.
No.
And so
No, it wasn't.
So they're scrambling to kind of follow that up because they do love that cast and working with Fassbender and McAvoy. So they're making X-Men Supernova, or that's the working title. They're also making a whole new team movie called X-Men New Mutants, and I think they want that to be like a new First Class and hopefully launch a new trilogy. And, of course, they're going to run with the Deadpool, Wolverine-style rated R films. At the very least, by planting 3 or 4 different potential franchises, 1 or 2 of them will land for sure, and they can run with those. And with these rated R movies being home runs, Deadpool and now Logan, they're catering to an audience of fans like us who grew up with this stuff, who are older, more mature, and want these mature stories and mature characters on screen that none of the other franchises are doing. DCEU from Warner Brothers and the Marvel Cinematic Universe are too afraid to deal with rated R material. So far, I bet that will change. So Fox has that above everyone else right now, and that's kind of cool. I like that.
And Rob, I think I don't know if it's Fox's intentions right now, but what I feel is working with the whole R-rated movie status going on is that obviously X-Men has started to alienate the brand a little bit, amongst fans and viewership out there, and I think that they're able to reel people back in by, bringing R-rated statuses back out to, really kind of just, amp up the storyline in a sense, and make it more adult. So then that way, you're putting these characters back in movies, and you're able to just hit the fans with, just straight action, violence, and a lot of serious and gritty tone, whereas, before you had to kind of develop, the characters, story arcs, how they play into each other, yeah, and really kind of develop a timeline, and all that got messed up. After X3 and moving into the to the Origins movie and stuff. So I feel like the franchise really started to lose its sight of things and alienate themselves amongst fans. But this whole R-rated status is bringing things back to to life, where it's just like, let's just take these characters and throw them into the fire a little bit, and just let's just make it fucking awesome and fun. And I think it's hitting.
Definitely. And it's not just the fact that it's an R rating. It's the mentality of like, let's take our gloves off and get people who are super passionate and invested in these characters, which is 100% James Mangold, who's been working with Hugh Jackman for 2 decades now, and getting Tim Miller and Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick and Ryan Reynolds, who've been sort of attached in one way or another to Deadpool for a decade. And it's like, let's just let them do what they need to do. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a $200 million movie. Let them do whatever they need to do to tell that story the right way. And it's not about getting more curse words in there or nudity, because neither of those movies rely on that. It's about telling a story that has actual character development, that's truly standalone and doesn't need to rely on previous films or setting up other films.
Right.
And you get real emotion and real character relationships out of that. And that's something a lot of these movies, now that we get 6, 7, up to 10 of these per year, it's kind of lacking. So it's almost like the saving grace that Fox needed to kind of do that. Otherwise, if they didn't, imagine they didn't, and Deadpool was rated PG-13 and it was nowhere near the success, they would have been afraid to make Logan rated R. And this franchise would be in the shitter. I apologize if I'm not allowed to swear.
No, you
swear all you want,
you
man.
are fully enabled to curse.
Yeah, we're an R-rated show, too.
So you guys are doing what Fox is doing. You're doing it right. Yeah. So this saved their franchise. Because if they didn't, and these franchises, they'd be screwed, and they'd be under so much pressure to make deals with Marvel, just like Sony did. And they'd be like, all right, guys, look, have the Fantastic Four and help us fix the X-Men because we're fucked. But they did it, man. They launched Deadpool was like the most money-making X-Men movie, and it was the movie no one wanted to make for 10 years, because they let them do what they want to do. And part of that, for sure, is the R rating. And I really do think that, for Marvel, for example, come Phase 4, like they're going to see what Marvel TV is doing on Netflix, that more adult, gritty, realistic, grounded thing, and they're going to see, Fox hitting home runs with these quality rated R movies, and they're going to be like, you know what? Maybe we should do that Black Widow origin movie and make it rated R, because she's an assassin who kills people, and that makes sense. You know what I mean?
But honestly, could you really see Disney doing that? Their whole thing is to get all, fans of all ages, including they want the kids in there too, even if some of the stuff isn't really for them.
Disney, no. Perhaps, but Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige, sure. I mean, Disney owned Miramax back in the day. You like Tarantino movies? I mean, they did that kind of stuff back in the day. But here's the thing. If Marvel's able to produce 3 or 4 movies per year, they have to hit more audiences. Every movie, and Kevin Feige, who's like the boss of Marvel Studios and the super producer behind all their films, he says every movie has to do something new. We have to push these genres, give you a different experience every time, and eventually that has to mean they have to do an adult story.
Yeah.
And some of these characters are adult. Like, we still haven't seen the real Black Widow on screen. The only way you can really do that is if it's rated R. So I bet money that they do that in the next 5 years. We see at least one. Because why not? You have 2 giant PG-13 $13 billion movies. Why can't you have one lower budget one that's rated R? I mean, it's working for Marvel TV and Netflix.
Also, they haven't really truly focused on a female lead yet for Marvel. And
we're waiting for Captain Marvel. But
she's owed. Scarlett Johansson. I mean, she's really been a tremendous piece in the whole Avengers timeline, and she ties in that story. Like, if you didn't have her in those movies, the cohesiveness that travels throughout the MCU really wouldn't be there. And I mean, the fact that her zipper comes down more and more each time in every sequel, keeps me interested. So I think she's owed at this point a R-rated standalone movie to really make the character stand out. But at the same time, Captain Marvel is also going to be another one to look out for and see how they do that one as well.
Definitely. Also, Ant-Man and the Wasp. That'll be technically your first headlining female hero you'll see in the MCU, 2018. And then you have Captain Marvel afterwards. But Captain Marvel you'll see first in Avengers. She'll have an appearance there, but I think we get her origin story in 2019. And then I think no matter what happens to Black Widow, even if they kill her off in Avengers 3 or 4, you can still do the origin story prequel afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think what you said is true, man. As an actress, she's one of the most famous worldwide, one of the highest paid, most successful actresses. She carried Lucy a couple of years ago to make big money. She's carrying Ghost in the Shell, which is a very challenging adaptation coming out next month, actually. And 100% she can carry a Marvel movie. With Marvel's marketing power, they can launch Ant-Man. For sure they can do Black Widow. So I'd love to see them do that.
Rob, what are you excited for out of the MCU coming up in the next few years? And whether if you have insider knowledge or not, I'm just curious about what things you anticipate, changing down the road. Whether if it's your own guess or just what you might be excited for. I'm just curious to hear how you think the MCU is gonna change and play out a little bit over the next few movies that are coming out.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I would love to see Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
be
I would
part of
love
the
to see them
MCU
not
Phase
fuck
4.
it up again.
Yeah, and that's the thing. To be honest, I don't even think Marvel cares about the Fantastic Four. I
No,
don't
they
think
want
anybody does.
They
No.
want
But-
the ancillary characters.
No,
yeah, exactly. We
and
sure as
Rob,
hell
with-
care about their villains.
Rob, with Fantastic Four, the thing that's been the fucked up part with them is that they're not a headlining act. I think we have to just accept that they're not the team they're not the Avengers, and
Yeah.
they are a freak accident type team that got that's put together. What the way I see them being truly successful in the MCU is they need to be these low level grunt work type of characters that that are like a Hawkeye that go in and are able to do some of the dirty work a little bit. Maybe introduce them at the same type of tier that like Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones are coming together in that sense where kind of in between a street level type of gathering that goes and gets some of the grunt work done for the for the Avengers. What do you think?
I think you nailed it. I think comparing to Hawkeye is a pretty good idea. So the way I see it, like if I were part of that decision-making plan in Phase 4,
Yeah.
And by the way, I mean, like if I were a guessing man, I think Marvel and Fox are already working together on this sort of stuff because there are no plans for Fantastic Four,
You have to be
and
at
Marvel
this point.
TV and Fox are already working together on multiple TV shows.
Yeah, we have Legion that came out already. I know when we were in New York, you said that you had already seen the first couple episodes, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then there's the the currently untitled one with that's going to focus on the family who's on the run. There's supposed to be Sentinels in that. So there's definitely already the collaboration between Fox and Marvel with the the TV aspect, and so you got to think there's some kind of reciprocity there for what's Marvel actually getting out of this besides getting their name on these products. There's got to be something else going on.
And it goes beyond that because everyone knows these movies are just big commercials for the merchandise. And guess what's back in the merchandise? Hasbro's making X-Men figures again. That's interesting, given that they didn't have like the money for that. You know what I mean? Before, so for sure they're working together on something. And I mean, with Sony and Marvel, they're going to do something special. I think with Spider-Man: Homecoming, I can tell you I was on the set for that, and I think it's going to be a very cool, like fun character movie that's different. And I think that's what they need to do with the Fantastic Four. But to your question though, like. Yeah, I mean, Fantastic Four don't need their own movie, but they can sure be supporting characters in these larger event films and things like what's after Infinity War? There has to be some other massive event that's going to be cosmic in nature, and that's where you have the Fantastic Four. And these are the brilliant scientists. You add the Baxter Building up beside Stark Tower in New York and all of your wide
get the
shots.
Illuminati together.
And exactly, which by the way, Benedict Cumberbatch name dropped the Illuminati when we were on set, and he's very excited for that in the future. So Phase 4, you start setting up things like that. You have Iron Man or some version of Iron Man and Cap. You have Black Panther who can be part of the Illuminati. I don't know what's happening with the Inhumans right now on TV, but potentially, they could cross over. But we do know that after Guardians 2 and going into Phase 4, there's going to be more cosmic films. It's not just the Guardians. The Guardians will have spin-offs, and there are many other cosmic characters, including Captain Marvel, and that means cosmic villains, and that's something you might need the Fantastic Four to help with, So, and even if you want to give them a movie, they don't necessarily have to headline it. It can be the Fantastic Four and something else in a larger war, sort of like the Infinity Wars. Like the Infinity War movie which is shooting right now in Atlanta. That's not a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but they have a major role in it. The same way you could include Fantastic Four, in a couple of years when they need to. So that's how I would do it.
Yeah, maybe do like a Secret Wars or Kree Skrull War or something like that. Secret Invasion.
Sure, yeah. Speaking of Marvel Fox deals, they also talked to get Ego the Living Planet into Guardians of the Galaxy, and
Yeah.
and on the first script for the first Guardians, they wanted to get the Badoon, another alien species, in there, but Fox owns them. They couldn't get them at the time, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make more deals like that because Fox isn't using any of these guys. They're going to try to with X-Men Supernova and bring those characters to space and stuff like that, but I'm curious how far they're willing to go because if that doesn't work, then Fox continues for decades to hold on to many of the greatest, biggest, most dangerous villains in the Marvel Universe that they're not using. And that is a crime against us, the fans.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
They have to figure something out.
Rob, have you ever seen Big Trouble in Little China?
I have not, but I bought it. I bought it. We've been debuting like exclusive art for like these art books for that movie and comic crossovers and stuff like that. I've been saving on to it.
Oh my God.
But every weekend of 2017, I've been
Rob,
traveling. So
I'm like shell shocked right now. I mean,
I know
you're in charge of Screen Rant, one of the largest editorial.
Pisses me off to no end.
I mean, Rob,
I've never written an article about this movie, so I'm good.
All right, well, we're giving you homework. We got the rest of the weekend here. You're going to watch it. I want you to review it and share it with us, and then we can compare notes on it. I think that's
sure.
That should
because
be
Sean and I were talking earlier about Ego the Living Planet and Kurt Russell, and there is a creature in Big Trouble Little China that I had referenced and said, Sean, it would be hilarious if Kurt Russell as the Living Planet was this creature. So it's just a small reference that would be interesting. But
speaking of that, though, I have to tell you though. So we ran our Guardians of the Galaxy 2 set visit stuff 2 weeks ago. So and we have more interviews going up with that. But they would not at the last minute. They said do not post the Kurt Russell interview because they're waiting for some big debut of his character. So I would imagine in the very near future there's going to be some either a TV commercial or some video they release online featuring him, hopefully as a planet. Because I really want to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
And then we're allowed to run our interview. So I think just heads up, something cool on that front is coming.
Okay. All right. We'll keep our eyes peeled.
Yeah, well, we just have you for another minute or so. We're gonna let you go. It's Saturday. I'm sure you got something to do. But you did mention that you go on a lot of set visits and things like that. What are some of the next couple ones that you have coming up, and maybe you could share some insider knowledge to us with?
Tricky question. Some I can't say I've been on. I can tell you ones that I'm hoping come up. I really, really want to visit the set of Aquaman because I'm so curious about that, and it's shooting in Australia, which is amazing. And I really want to visit the set of obviously Avengers: Infinity War. But as for what's coming up, we just ran the Guardian stuff. We visited the set of Alien Covenant, so we'll be running about. I didn't do that one personally, but I sent someone to that. So we'll be doing that one in the near future. I just did one 2 weeks ago. I can't talk about. And like I mentioned earlier, I did do the Spider-Man Homecoming set visit, which was very interesting because it's a Sony / Marvel / Disney production, which is unheard of. So that was kind of a cool one to do. But trying to think what else. I don't know.
I'm actually staring at one of our little headlines here that we're going to be talking about, Alien Covenant. Real quick, how do you feel about Danny McBride and David Gordon Green will be writing the the upcoming Halloween film?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like. So you heard the news, like their pitch, how it's not really like a reboot; it's sort of like a sequel to the first two films.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, on one hand of it, like I like that they respect the material and that clearly they're fans because they must have had a very specific and cool pitch.
Right.
But then again, that also reminds me of what Bryan Singer did with Superman, right? Where he came in and he's like, I'm not gonna do a new franchise. I'm just gonna like ignore Superman 3 and 4 and do my own version where Brendan Routh is now Christopher Reeves,
Yeah.
And that didn't really work out. So I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I think Halloween, sort of like the Saw franchise, is invincible, and it'll come back in one way or another every so many years. So I mean, sure, why not? I'm sure they have a cool pitch.
Yeah, and I just realized I did a terrible segue from Alien Covenant to Halloween, but my my segue was the fact that Danny McBride is in Alien Covenant.
That's right.
And did you say you were on the set for that?
Yeah, one of my main editors I sent to that one. Another great trip to Australia I missed.
Yeah. You know, we didn't really get much out of this. Do you think Danny McBride's going to be the typical like Kenny Powers type of a personality, or do you think he'll be kind of like a
regular person?
Like a regular, I'm steering the ship here, type of guy.
He's going to be like a hyper intelligent space trucker sort of guy, where it's like he's taking it seriously because it's like a horrible shit is happening around him. But I think he's also going to have like that sarcastic humor that he should have. I think for sure he's some form of comic relief, but I don't think it's going to be out of place. There's always a character like that in these movies.
Yeah, a big fan of him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's good. And he's a smart. I mean, he's actually like a genuinely smart like writer. So it's kind of cool. He's one of those guys like kind of like Seth Rogen. You see them and you don't think like whatever. He's just a funny guy. But like no, these guys like produce, direct, write. They're smart. So if he's invested something, it's as a fan of the genre, like you should probably pay attention to it. I would say.
Right. All right. Well, Rob, we are going to let you go. Thank you so much for calling in. Maybe we can get you back on sometime so you can share what you've been up to. Good luck on any of your upcoming set visits, any articles that you're going to be writing, and we'll definitely be sharing out your interview videos with some of the X-Men or Wolverine cast. You said they come out next week. That'll be released.
Yeah,
right?
we'll be punching them out daily this week. Same with some more Guardians of the Galaxy 2 stuff. I kind of held on to the interviews for that, so I posted some features instead. But this week's going to be good times for Marvel fans as we approach the Logan release date. So, guys, thank you for having me on. This is awesome. You guys are great.
Rob, real quick, I'm gonna need to have you back on so we can talk Star Trek again soon. But
yes, 100%,
absolutely. But we'll be keeping an eye out at all the stuff you'll be putting out there, and we'll share it to the masses. And thank you for joining us today.
Cheers. Enjoy the weekend, guys.
You do the
Thanks
same.
a lot,
Take
bud.
care.
All right, Rob Keys from Screen Rant. He was such a cool guy to hang out with in person. For somebody like myself, I've never been to anything like that, with different press people and, something of that magnitude. So, like, he was so helpful, in, ingratiating me into, what to expect, the whole, culture of the press junket, thing there. So, he was just a really cool guy. A really nice connection to make. He was great, with this interview.
Yeah, and he shaved his balls.
And he shaved his balls.
For the movies,
so
that's great.
All right, Bill. Well, we've had such an action-packed show so far. I think it would be best to hold off on some of the other news topics that we had. We just had so much going on.
Yeah, it was like Michael Bay was here just blowing shit up.
Yeah, there were so many special effects going on in the background that it was just it was so much that I can't even talk about any of this.
You might as well just stop.
News. So we're gonna actually wrap our show there for tonight. We really hope that you enjoyed not only my interview with Hugh Jackman, Rob Keys from Screen Rant as well. He was such an awesome guy to not only have on this show, but for me to meet in person as well during my my Logan experience. I just wanted to thank Rob and Screen Rant one more time. Fox Studios, Molly Doherty, who also helped to get my travel arrangements going on. You guys really made it a dream come true for me. So I could never thank you guys enough for that. So that's going to wrap it up for today. We will be back in 2 weeks. We'll be back with more TV news, more movie news, some more reviews. I know we wanted to talk Legion a little bit. We didn't get to do that today, but we'll do that next time. For myself, Sean Harrigan, for Bill Tazzi, and for Mike Francolino, we want to say thank you for listening, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Adios.